The name Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah will now forever be etched in the history books of Namibia as the 5th president and the first female president of Namibia. As we look to the future of Namibia, we explore her guiding principles, her plans to address the key challenges that the country faces, and what her leadership means for the people of Namibia and beyond. Your Excellency, good afternoon. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down with us and to speak to us today. We really do highly appreciate it. So thank you so much for having myself and the rest of the NBC team.
Thank you very much for giving me the space.
Well, just to start with, our conversation is going to be brief, and I'd like to get straight into the gist of what we're going to be touching on today. You join a very, very short list of African, female presidents, and your election to the presidency really marks a major milestone in the pursuit of gender equality, not only in Namibia, but across the continent. So to start with, how do you see this achievement, contributing to the broader movements of women's rights across the African nation?
As much as we talk about the women's rights, if you do a deep analysis of what we have been and continue to advocate, it's really to advocate a mutual understanding and respect between men and women. And in the process, whatever achievement is being achieved is to the benefit of all. So what women are doing, they do not do it exclusively for women. They do it also for men. And now, because the way people look at it, when women are advancing, the emphasis is on a person as a woman, as if that person, when she was standing to say, I'm standing because I'm a woman. But the reality is, even those who have encouraged and nominated, they were not nominating women, they were nominating members of their party whom they believe that they have the capability to lead their nations. But of course, having now women becoming leaders at the high level of government in itself is an eye-opener to our society, which means both men and women have to appreciate and to realize the losses they suffered when women were seen not to play a major role in the public life. So, of course, it's encouraging women, both young, middle-aged, and old, to pursue their goals. But at the same time, it's also an eye-opener to our male counterpart to realize what role and contribution, if we work together as men and women, we can achieve in our developmental goals.
100%. Madam President, back in November, when you officially became the president-elect, you made a statement and you said that Namibia voted for peace and stability by voting for you. How important do you view the peace and stability that Namibia currently enjoys?
Peace is the prerequisite for development. And you can even just bring it closer home within the family. If there is no peace in the family, in that family you expect to have people who are depressed, people who just suffer from mental health, and a desperate situation And that is exactly the same for any given nation. We see the countries where there is war and how people are living. So I put great importance to peace, and this is exactly what SWAPO Party stood for from the beginning. And in this peace process, we are saying we have to recognize the role each and everyone can play in ensuring peace and stability. Namibia, we have 35 years of enjoying peace and stability, something that we should not take for granted. And that is something that I will continue to pursue, just as my predecessors, from the founding president, father of the Namibian nation, leader for our revolution, Sam Nujoma, may his soul rest in eternal peace, and our third president, also his soul rest in eternal peace, and of course our second president, who is still with us, and we are very grateful to the Almighty, and then President Mbumba. So they have all advanced the importance of peace, they maintained it, and I'm going to follow in those footsteps because I want development in this country.
As much as Namibia's peace and stability is well known and well documented, Namibia's challenges are also well documented. When you speak now of high unemployment and the levels of inequality within the country. And during your campaign, you did prioritize job creation, and you pledged quite a huge amount of money to create jobs over the next 5 years as you serve your first term in office. But I think a lot of people are asking, how do you intend to go about this?
Yes, you are right. I have a SWAPO Party. We have committed ourselves to pay special attention to job creation. And we said in the next 5 years, we should create at least over 500,000 jobs. We went further to say in the next 5 years, we have to put aside 85 billion in order for us to carry out those programs which are identified in our election manifesto. And there are so many sectors that you can create jobs. Some could be temporarily, but they will lead to permanent jobs. The temporary is, for example, in the construction industry. At the time of constructing, if you are constructing roads, if you are constructing schools or hospitals, you create jobs there. But after you complete them, then you'll be required to expand your education facilities. So which means you are going to employ more teachers and so on. And then you have now like the creative industry.
Yes.
That industry is a high job creating industry. And it just needs really to be understood fully and for people to buy into it. Sometimes now you find if you have your children and then your child say, I'm going for fashion design. You feel like you are withdrawing, but you like fashion. How do you want it to come up if you don't want your child to do it?
Right.
So, and they could be quite a many because like fashion design, one person can have 10 different fashion designs.
Yes,
So you are really creating jobs. The music industry, as part of the creative industry, the film industry, you can imagine how many people you need if you are really investing properly in the film industry. You have the makeup, you have those who are designing costumes, you have those who are cleaning, you have those who are designing even furnitures to look old furnitures and all these things. So you create a lot of jobs there. And then we now talk about agriculture and agro-processing. So it's another sector. And then we talk about value addition. when we are now saying our minor resources, we cannot just allow everything to go unprocessed. So we are creating jobs. The tourism industry, basically there's no activity that does not create a job because somebody has to do it one way or the other.
In the start of our conversation, when we spoke about you becoming one of the very few African female presidents, you spoke about how important it is not only for young women, but young people in general, middle-aged people, older people, to have this sort of role model. And I know at the young and tender age of 14, and I don't know what young 14-year-old I can think of today who would pledge to themselves to become a member of the SWAPO party. But that's exactly what you did when you were 14 years old. You became a member of the SWAPO party, a card-carrying member, and shortly after that, you took leadership of the SWAPO Youth League. So just taking us back a little bit in time, talk to us about that period in your life.
You know, during my time, that is not strange. And I can assure you, I might not be the only one. There could be many of us. Because it's, you know, when you are getting into something, there must be something that is driving you to do so. And the environment is the one that also helps you. Yeah. As a young child, as we are growing up, you are hearing all this, what is happening, and you are seeing it. So if you are told that you cannot be in the same classroom like a white child, when you are told you cannot be in the same shop, a place like Oshakati when it came, that is where it became so obvious to some of us who are there. And then here you are now, you have your brother who works in the contract, going there for 16, 18 months, and then your brother comes back, he literally offers nothing in the house. Of course, the day he arrives, you can have, I think it's coffee, but there we were always saying tea. You can have your tea, because he will come with a packet of tea, a packet of sugar. If he manage, maybe he can bring some 1 or 2 loaves of bread, and that's the only time you sit. And here you are now, a person of 14 years, even less, I say 12. You have now the SWAPO activists, like in our case, people like Kahumba Kandola. You know, Ndola and Onantai are very close. And Kahumba Kandola to Hadeleni, those are the people who really raised our consciousness. Yes. In as far as fighting for the country is concerned. Almost every Sunday after church, you know, my father is a reverend. So after church, they have to call people there, and they are talking about SWAPO, they are talking of what should be done, and they are shouting slogans like Kwaela Kwasha. I hope you know that initially the SWAPO logo was a frame. And that frame is why because Kwaela means it's light now, and that was the light that was now lightening. And that was the symbol, what it means. So with that, honestly, it led me to say, no, I need this. Yeah. And then a card was bought for me by my parents, by my father to be specific, and I was so proud to have it. So when I went to school at St. Mary's, then I already know what it should be done. And lucky enough, the SWAPO decided at the Tanga Consultative Congress to set up wings, the Youth League, the Women's League, the Elders Council Wing. And when we had it in Namibia from the radio, the Voice of Namibia, where people like Uncle and Daddy used to broadcast, and we used to listen to them. So we had no youth, we have now our wing, then we started. And then my colleagues decided to say they are now electing me or nominating me to be the chairperson of the chairman. That time we don't use this gender issue. We have come to learn it in the process, how terrible it is. So they say then you are a chairman of the SWAPO Youth League in Ovamboland. So that is what really happened. And then I started providing the leadership, but a collective leadership, basically.
Yeah.
It was not one person. It's only because you cannot have two people occupying one position. So, but otherwise, it was really a collective leadership that I've experienced when I was chairman of the SWAPO Youth League until 74, when I went into exile.
I also understand when you were at school, you were quite bright and brilliant in the maths and science subjects. So if you'd gone into STEM, you could have become a professor in science, but you chose to go the political journey in any case.
Yeah, there you are right. My subject really, I'm not a social scientist. As I was growing up, I was so a natural scientist. It's mathematics, it's science, those were really my subject. And I remember when we were doing our Form 3, our teachers were then expelled out of Namibia because most of them were from Britain, the Anglican Church. And we were to write our final examination. So we decided, no, we have to write, but let us organize ourselves. Those who are good in math teach others. Those who are good in English teach others. Those who are good in history teach others. So I was teaching math and science. And we did well. We did well. I believe we did well. Mm-hmm. So those are my subjects. And I remember we are in this room with the founding president one day. I cannot really remember exactly what we were talking. Then he said, you Netumbo, you are a scientist. You are a scientist. But now I'm a social scientist.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's all just the same. And you understand the behavior of the people better and how you are going to deal with them.
Yeah.
So from natural scientist, you can easily switch to social science, and then you'll be able how to handle people. And I believe that is what I try, and I will continue to try to do so.
And here you are today, Namibia's first female president. And when women enter different industries, Your Excellency, they do find themselves having challenges, and I think even more so when they enter into industries that are male-dominated. And some might be of the opinion that leading nations is men's work. Do you believe that the challenges you might encounter would be especially unique because you're Namibia's first female president? Or do you think the challenges might be the same as your predecessors experienced?
The national challenges will be the same. Mm-hmm. The reaction of the people might be different because they will not refer to President Netumbo. They will say, women president. Mm-hmm. And that is what is already circulating. Mm-hmm. It's not that people have elected Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah as a person. What is getting into the minds is that they elected a woman president. And whatever will happen, it will not be seen by some that Netumbo has done this, especially when you might have taken, as it happens, a decision that might have different consequences. Then it will not be say, the president did this. They will say, women did this. That's the unfortunate. Yeah. And that is what we should try to get out of the people's minds. It is true, when you're a woman, the way you are perceived is completely different, which I have no problem with that, because I know we are different. I can carry a baby, a man cannot carry a baby. So we are different in that angle. But you are always seen in a different way. I tell you, when I became the chief representative of SWAPO in Central Africa, based in Lusaka, I was appointed a deputy chief representative without a chief representative. And for 1 year, I was just a deputy without a chief representative. So I asked myself, what is this? But I said, Netumbo, why should I complain? I'm here to do the work.
Yes.
Let me just do my work. So here in independent Namibia, there was a time when I was appointed Deputy Secretary General of SWAPO Party without a Secretary General. So it's just that you are seen like that. Yeah. But those are the things that strengthened me myself. When they happen, I just said, no, what is important, I have a responsibility, let me carry it. Yes. And I just want really women not to be, to be hooked into that idea of being a woman. Yes. But we should see ourselves as equal citizens in our countries and take decisions that we believe those decisions are in the interest of our people. Yeah.
On the note of the responsibility that you now have and the work that lies ahead of you, talk to us perhaps just briefly, because I know it's probably a long list, but some of the priority items on your agenda in the first few weeks or months now in office.
Yeah, the priority, my work is made easy because SWAPO election manifesto has also developed into an implementation plan. And in that implementation plan, there are deadlines that something should be happening here, the other one on this date. So those are going to be my priority. And that is why some of the things like the student financial assistance, really we have to make sure that a Namibian child should have access to education from 0th grade up to university. Yes. And we must make this easy for them. So that is why in developing the plan, the SWAPO manifesto implementation plan, it was felt that really to have this NASFA just there on its own, and the money that could be used directly to fund more students is spent on administration, we felt that is not fair to a Namibian child. Yeah. And that is why we say to see what we should do in this financial year, let us amend the act to remove NASFA from a different agent and to bring it to the central government. So this is, that is one thing. And then we have now the issue of the tender, whereby Namibians, we know our rights, but sometimes they can work against us. Because if you see a tender which is being challenged 1 year down, 2 years down, 3 years down, the tender is not coming. I mean, the courts are not pronouncing themselves. Yes. And because Namibians, we are now highly regulated, we decided that no, we cannot allow this. Let us have a special court just to deal with tenders. And then they will be disposed quickly so that people cannot be denied the services. So we have to, we have to push that some of those laws must really be amended. And there are quite a number that are identified in SWAPO election manifesto. And we will work hard to make sure that the first 2-3 months, the Namibian parliament has to work to amend those laws to allow us to work in order to serve our people better.
Thank you so much. Just before we say goodbye and thank you once again for your time, is there a personal message perhaps that you'd like to share with the people of Namibia as you begin this journey as our president?
Yeah, yes, first I have really to thank the support that I got from the international community. Their presence at our 35th independence anniversary, as well as them to come and witness my inauguration is something I appreciate. I know there's quite a number of people, prominent people, who have attended this inauguration. And among them, I'm happy to see Meme Ellen Johnson Sirleaf of Liberia, and others who have attended. It is really something encouraging that the world is seeing what Namibia is doing. Mm-hmm. And then now to my fellow Namibians, the celebrations are over, particularly talking to my comrades who worked with me since 2022, 2023, 2024. But now we have to have our hands dirty. We have to make sure that we focus on what we promise the people of Namibia, and that is a quality service delivery. And I'm asking all Namibians, with particular reference to our civil servants, the public service, you are the movers and the shakers. And I have really the trust that together we will be able to deliver what we have promised our people. Mm-hmm. And I want, as a nation, to consolidate our unity and stability and peace in our country, and to make use of our natural resources to the best of our ability and in the interest of our people. We must do so with integrity, with honesty, and not to be selfish. I can assure the Namibian people, even those who might feel they are well off, if we share what we have, you are even going to be better off. Because nobody or very few people will think of stealing from you, because at least we all feel and we are all going to be protected and feel cared. Mm-hmm. And in that way, we can progress in whatever we are doing. So I'm sincerely calling all Namibians to join me in this journey, where we have to build on the strong foundation which were built by our first, our second, our third, and our fourth president, for us to take Namibia to a balanced, shared prosperity for all.
Your Excellency, Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for meeting with us. And I think I speak on behalf of many a Namibian when we say we wish you well in your tenure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Happy 35th anniversary.
Thank you.